Hey fellow Vault Wearers, it's Angry Turtle, and for today's video we have a review of the weapon, laser rifle. And yes, I saw a lot of comments from you that this weapon is trash, and it used to be. Let's see if it still is, or maybe not. As you probably know, OneWasteland brings some changes into how the weapons are set on the ranking, mainly because the big nerf hit mostly ballistic weapons and less of an impact to energy weapons, and still prime receivers are giving a decent damage boost for energy weapons, what's not gonna happen in case of ballistics. Then I do have it modified. At this moment it is modded some kind of a combo between VATS efficiency and hip firing, and we'll compare it a little bit with a handmade, because handmade is like a most known and widely used rifle in this game. Of course, Fixer is #1 now, but Fixer was not in vanilla game, and laser rifle was in vanilla version of the game. That's why I'm doing this comparison. And by the weapon stats, there is 119 damage versus 113. Therefore, the damage is not a huge difference in damage. It's worth to mention that laser rifle, automatic laser rifle, will have slightly higher fire rate than handmade. Although in this case, it's a legendary effect coming into play, 25% faster fire rate. But even without it, laser rifle have higher fire rate than handmade, as handmade is just 75. If I will have a faster fire rate on the handmade, this will go to about 90 or something, then it's still higher in case of laser rifle. But before we'll be talking more, let's use it for a little bit. Let's see how well it will do. And I'm doing only review for weapons that are available in the game. I will not review weapons with impossible combination that cannot drop anymore, like legacies. But now let's see the biggest downside of this weapon. As you probably know, the biggest downside of this weapon is not possible to put any type of a suppressor on it. It's very loud weapon, therefore you cannot use it as stealth weapon. And that's a big downside actually, as handmade you can use as a stealth weapon. Then here we go, first point, this weapon is not good if you want to use it with stealth. Like, I can sneak and I'm in caution. When I start shooting, I got first guy and second guy already can see me. Then yeah, this weapon is not for stealth. It's still decent for VATS, but AP consumption is higher regardless of the mods than in case of handmade, because we are going for automatic versions, and automatic handmade have super cheap VATS. This gun cannot achieve it. And as for a so fast firing weapon, the ammo capacity is not great, to be honest. The ammo capacity of 21, that's nothing special really. It's not great. It's actually higher if you go for semi-auto, single fire. Then yeah, that's another point worth to mention. Now if we swap for a moment for a handmade, you will see that it's insanely effective as well in VATS. Now that's the handmade. You can see that it's shooting slower, like the fire rate is slower, but the damage is on par. Damage in VATS will be on par. Now there is one situation when actually the laser will be slightly better. As you can see when I run, that's my accuracy with a handmade, and that's my accuracy with a laser rifle. Then yeah, it's much better in case of accuracy and recoil. If I will fire it, there is a little bit of a spread, a little bit of a recoil. When I fire handmade for comparison, you can see there is more recoil and more spread. Regardless of mods that you will use on handmade, there will be always a little bit more recoil and a little bit more spread. Then for hip firing, the laser gun can be actually better. Okay, let's see how this laser rifle will do if we use this gun as a hip fire. And yes, another downside will be ammo is ultra sight fusion cells. But as you can see, hip firing, aiming for the head or anywhere is not a problem. Like, you are only limited by your accuracy, or if Super Mutant will stand like put his back towards you, then you cannot really get headshots. Like, they always keep their head down, then from behind you basically cannot have headshots. And yeah, that's a small clip side downside. Maybe I will have better use with a quad than anti-armor, but that's okay. Even on the torso I can kill them rather fast, but I need to reload. Like, after 1-2 kills I will need to reload. So you can see I'm using more than half of the magazine to kill one of the super mutants, and that's a high damage commando build. It's not a low damage, it's a high damage commando build. Then I should be able to annihilate every target really fast. And now I will not go over all the mods because I did it before in latest video. I just want to show you how this gun will work when we drop the prime capacitor, as obviously prime capacitor on every energy gun is insanely good. But our secondary option will be calibrated capacitor to still maintain quite high damage, but this will require to use VATS all the time. As you can see, I'm losing 25 damage by swapping from prime to calibrated capacitor, and that is a significant difference. In the same time, it will allow me to use very cheap regular fusion cells, then that's a plus side. And now let's see, can I do a decent damage? Yes, but unfortunately, as you can see, I rely now entirely on VATS. If I will try to kill them without VATS, you can see that I suffer with this damage loss. I basically need an entire clip, release entire clip on the super mutant to kill him. When in VATS, thanks to those critical damage, my efficiency is still really good. And fast fire rate, everything like that, allows me to kill them fast. Another downside, this automatic gun have a less range than you will get from ballistic equivalent. It's only a little bit over 100 range, where handmade will have around 200. Still working great. Like, I will not say there is any problem with a damage output. It is good, but in the same time, as I said, as you cannot use it as a sneak build, there should be some trade-off. At this moment, without sneaking, as a gun like that, it's slightly better than ballistic counterpart like a handmade for hip firing and for usage in a VATS for those headshots. Yeah, for that it's slightly better, but it's not good enough to say that it's a worthwhile replacement. Then what I will say, because that's a review, what I think about this weapon. And is it worth keeping? Definitely yes. Is it great? No. Is it good? Yes, it is good. How I see this weapon now. The use case for this weapon, I will see daily ops, especially because you cannot use stealth there anyway, then this gun will be great. There is some small use case if you want to be a team medic or you have a vampire one and you just want to be immortal. You can put a splitter on it and then healing will be amplified. That's one of the reasons you can actually use splitter apart from legacy weapon, what I stated on my mods review. And another good reason, if you have a lot of fusion cells lying around, you can definitely use this weapon. Or roleplay perspective, if you need an energy weapon for your gameplay, it is a decent option. Will it beat handmade or the fixer? No, because of the stealth capabilities, and outside of stealth is about the same. It is a really good weapon for use outside of stealth with commando, and a little bit different situation if we'll be talking about rifleman. If you talk about rifleman and the sniper build, unfortunately, this weapon will not be a great pick as it outdamage by a lot if you go for a flamer plasma. Then if you go rifleman route, the flamer plasma. If you go commando and you want some weapon to use outside of stealth, in VATS and outside of VATS, then yes, automatic laser rifle, it is good. The same situation will be with the pistols, as pistols follow the same route. And finally, is it better than it was before OneWasteland? Yes, compared to other weapons though, because overall it lost some damage, but only a little bit, when every other ballistic weapon lost quite significant amount of damage. Therefore this weapon now is a solid option. Before it was trash, now it's a solid option, still not the best. And that will conclude my review of laser rifle. Let me know what you think, did you ever use one? And as always, thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.